Duit, agus fáilte, charas. Hello and welcome, beautiful temple dwellers, to this temple library entry. We are in the inner sanctum, and I am going to be talking about reclaiming lost parts of yourself, some soul retrieval. I do have some anchor points and a little few questions here also, but the main one that we're starting this off with is, what does it mean to lose parts of ourself? So I'm going to be starting this one off with losing parts of ourselves, and what does that mean? If we're looking at it in terms of soul retrieval, it is fragments of our essence, of our soul, that split off due to survival, due to trauma, due to bereavement, due to life itself just being the beast that it can be at times, you know. There's many reasons why we end up shutting or losing parts of ourselves and cutting them off. And also is society and family structures telling us what we should be, what we shouldn't be, what that should look like, etc. So I am going to be touching on a few little personal experiences and examples of my own. Yours might be similar, they mightn't be that traumatic or dramatic. They don't have to be, it doesn't have to be, but I am going to be touching on some of my own parts here that we're going back, reeling in the years here to like 2010 Hazel. 2010 Hazel. So what it looked like for me, speaking from general, you know, when I'm talking about 2010 Hazel leaving an abusive relationship that she was in for 8 years, most of her teenage years, you know, when she finally got away from that, I wasn't taking stock of my identity when I was leaving. I was literally in survival mode and I had to get out. I tried many times and I finally got out. Back then there wasn't much terminology around domestic violence, around abuse. There wasn't much language for it. It was only when I actually got away and went into a women's refuge that I learned what domestic abuse was, meeting other women in there, doing workshops, looking and realising, noticing what red flags and what's green flags in relationships. So big parts of 2010 me that I am bringing back involved a good amazing relationship with my body. Well, actually I can't say it was an amazing relationship. I did have an eating disorder and probably was self-harming throughout that time, but when it comes to I did have a pole at that stage. I did a few classes and then I got my own pole. This was back in the day before you could even order them online, you know, and it was connecting with that sensuality, with that femininity, with that primal part, you know. And when I was gone, obviously I couldn't take that with me, you know what I mean? So I did just close that off for many years, and I was like, okay, well, that's that. You know, let's try and rebuild and get on with life right now and see who the fuck this Hazel is, you know. But now I have a new pal. I don't know whether I'm gonna put doing a little spin here after so many years. I don't want to even add up how many years it is right now, but we're getting back to it. Also with workouts, with my relationship with that, because I remember, you know, after I got out of that relationship and I did meet my late husband, and before I had my daughter, I went to the gym actually and started getting back into a relationship again with my body in that way. And then I think bereavement came around then, from somebody really close to me at that stage, and that just, you know, life, it just fucked everything up. You don't want to be fucking in your routine when something's after fucking shattering your world apart again, you know. So yeah, now bringing that back in as well, bringing the relationship and trying to like keep all the plates spinning at the same level, if that makes any sense. If you're like me and you have like plates spinning and you're trying to keep them all spinning and not just focusing on a couple of them. So as I was saying, it doesn't always have to be this deep, but it can be. And when I was just escaping from my life, I wasn't taking stock of what I was leaving behind, what parts of me was left there. It's not until now that I'm really starting to call parts back that were left there. You know, also, like, I grieved a lot of rebuilding. I grieved getting out of that relationship. I never actually grieved the parts that I lost up until now, bringing them back, you know. Also, I didn't even realise until many years later how much of my identity got stripped and chipped away bit by bit throughout the years of that relationship. As I mentioned, it was domestic violence. It was abusive on all the levels that it could be, emotionally, physically, financially, sexually, down to what I eat or what I ate, down to what I wore, down to if I wore makeup, down to who I talked to. It was literally Guantanamo Bay of relationships. Okay, I have some questions for the beautiful temple dwellers here, and you can get at me down below in the comments if you want, or else just answer them to yourself if you feel comfortable. So what part of yourself have you been missing? What bad bish part of yourself had to be shut off for a while? What did you leave as a kid, as a teen, as an adult? What have you been afraid to return to? What feels like it's calling you home and asking for a seat? So some little journaling, maybe you've already done a good bit of this work, but there's always parts to be brought home. Our soul is so intricate. It's so, I can't even think of a word. Infinite. Intricate and infinite. Yeah, it's intricate and it's infinite. And there's always parts that we can bring home to ourselves to become whole. Okay, so I just have a little note wrote down here, and it's what does reclaiming look like. So I wrote down, it's not becoming somebody new, even though it is in a way. It's remembering who you were. It's remembering and bringing them parts home. Them ones that you had to shrink to survive. Anywhere that you had power taken away or given away. You know, it's really like bringing them all back and letting them all take a seat together at the hearth, instead of one part of yourself being over here, another soul fragment being over here, another soul fragment being down in this timeline, because again, life and shit hit the fan. So one last little tip here before we close this entry is reclaim one thing at a time. Little baby steps, bit by bit. So I hope this helps in some way, shape or form. I will be back soon with some more temple library entries. I don't know if I'm putting this one up first or the Sheila and a gig, but they are both linking in with reclaiming your power, your femininity, sensuality, all the amazingness that there is. So if you did stay for this long, thank you, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you can stay up to date with when these drop. Talking like I'm dropping an album there, but yeah, I'll be back soon. Take care, blessings, slán go fóill. Goodbye for now.